The next story will gladden the heart of those who are concerned that the proposed tactical squad of the police will just be the notorious SARS in disguise.
No operatives of the now defunct SARS will be admitted into the SWAT squad. In a series of tweets on Wednesday, the police sought to dispel that notion by releasing the 5 cardinal points of the SWAT unit.
The force PRO said also that operatives of the new tactical team will not embark on routine patrols and are barred from unlawful search of phones, laptops and other smart devices.
They must also not have pending disciplinary issues or any serious previous record of professional misconduct touching on intemperate behavior, incivility to members of the public, corrupt practices and misuse of firearms.
The document also states that SWAT teams are to be strictly intelligence-led and only to respond to robbery attacks, scenes of weapons-related crimes, and rescue operations. They will also embark on special operations involving high-profile criminals that constitute threats to national security, including anti-banditry, counter-terrorism, and counter-insurgency operations that require special tactical response.
The basic training of SWAT officers will start this Sunday and will run for 3 weeks in 3 camps across the country.
Well, joining us via Skype from Lagos is Dr. Maimuna Kadiri, psychiatrist and medical director, Pinnacle Medical Services. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on TVC Breakfast.
Good morning.
Now, the government is saying that those who were members of the defunct SARS will have to go through psychological examination, just as those that will be part of the new SWAT team will also be examined as well. Now, a psychological examination, while I was trying to gather some information, is a way of determining the strength and perhaps capability of persons. But you are the expert here. Talk to us. How does this work? Break it down for us.
Thank you very much. And then, of course, kudos to all Nigerians that have been part of this protest. And, of course, may the lives of those that we've lost during this protest rest in perfect peace. And we send our regards to their loved ones and, of course, their parents. It's quite sad that we have to get to a protest to push for psychological evaluation. Psychological evaluation is not supposed to be an event, it's supposed to be a process. Yes, SARS has been debanned and of course now moved to SWAT. But when it comes to psychological evaluation with what the question has imposed, breaking it down, it's more like a screening test. A screening test meaning these people will be screened with psychological screening tools, and of course they'll be evaluated, they'll be assessed. And in medicine there's what we call the triage. Triage means we give power to what is of urgency, something that is of importance as against others. So when they are evaluated, assessed with these psychological tools, they are going to be grouped in like 3 different groups. The immediate, people that you have to take charge of immediately. Then those that maybe are vulnerable, at risk, that may have issues later in life. And those already dealing with problems right now would be looked into. Maybe they may need medication. Maybe those that have drug-related issues will be rehabilitated. But again, yes, it's a good thing that is in tune with what we are doing, but we should never ever look at this as a fire brigade approach. If they are going to do psychological evaluation to get people that are in SARS not to be in SWAT and those in SWAT to remain where they are, it should always be evaluated from time to time. So for us, or for me speaking as an expert, it's all about building systems, having strategies so that at the end of the day, we will not encounter such an incident later. So it's not just one up because we are pushing for psychological evaluation, but something that can be put in place so that anybody going into the force or anybody holding power or anybody that is in sensitive areas should at least be evaluated and, if anybody is facing any current issue or maybe at risk, the triad will take care of that.
You said it's a process. Now, while a lot of people will believe that this was just a matter of necessity where because of the protest, the police had to come up with this initiative such that they have to disband SARS, a lot also believe that you cannot rehabilitate or psychologically rehabilitate a man who has done one particular thing for a very, very long time. So how do we expect that after all of this, the psychological analysis, the men of the force will come out better?
Exactly. Good question. In fact, this is very important. So the first thing, before you even disembark or disband or even dissolve or whatever semantic or English word you want to use, they have to go through what we call psychological debriefing. And what is psychological debriefing? It's like more like a critical incident stress, management, or that you give to these people that have been in that unit, because these people are not literally leaving the force. They will be put in other departments, other location, pushed to other units or whatever. So there's what we call debriefing. They debrief them of what has been happening. They debrief them of what they have also gone through. Let's not forget that if they say they've been killing, there's a police brutality and all that, they have also been there. So debriefing them will help them, talk about their processes, talk about what is happening to them, talk about their experiences, and it will be in a shared group with people that have been in that in that unit. And so after that debriefing, like what I'm saying, when the evaluation takes place, they have been assessed and they have been triaged. Those that have immediate issues be dealt with, those that are vulnerable, they will know where to place them and all that. They should also put in place. So when it comes to this psychological evaluation, please don't just the force, the police force, as they are listening and they are watching now, they shouldn't just put a psychological evaluation now and don't put a back end. And what do I mean by back end? After the evaluation and the triage, then what? So what I would also ensure that they should put in place is to have what we call employees assistance program, whereby as they are in this force and as they progress, they will definitely have challenges too. They are human beings. They are fathers, they are mothers, they are brothers. They have other things they are also doing. So that employees assistance program, what it helps them to do is to build a safe space. So when they are faced with other challenges as they go about their regular duties, they have a place where they can talk to professionals who will not judge them, who would not criticize them, who wouldn't be apostolic towards them, and they can get the much needed help that they need.
In all of this, looking at the situation at hand now, and of course the police embarking on this process, what more can be done? Of course, you talked about evaluating them from time to time, which has not been done over time. So what more can be done to ensure that the officers and men of the force understand the service they are rendering to the people?
Thank you very much. With regards to that question, I think we have to go back to the basis. How many psychiatrists are even working with the police force? I can emphatically tell you, as a psychiatrist qualified in Nigeria, living in Nigeria, and one attending to over 200 million Nigerians, we do not have a qualified psychiatrist working with the Nigerian police force. We have psychiatrists working on ad hoc basis, and we have some medical officers who are in training right now to become psychiatrists in the police force. So it has to even start from there. Same psychological evaluation for the people that are in your force. Do you have the capacity on ground in ensuring this is done? And continuity, everything we do in life is all about sustainability. How sustainable is that going to be? Disabanding SARS, now going to SWAT, they must go through what we call human rights capacity training. It's not just about psychological training all alone. We know the power they have with them. And of course, being empowered with a powerful weapon like gun, they need to be in the right state of mind, be able to have empathy for that man out there who is not empowered with a powerful weapon like gun. So psychological evaluation, yes, is good. We are not going to query the fact that this shouldn't be done. But what we are saying is a total overhaul, total reform, whereby this psychological evaluation go hand in hand with human rights training, proper appraisal for these officers, not just a one-off, but from time to time. So in all, building a system and putting in strategy. We cannot have psychological evaluation, human rights training, appraiser with a police officer sleeping in those kind of buildings with poor salary remuneration. Everything must be in total, because when you look at the human being, it's holistic wellness we are all
So
projecting.
invariably, if I may interrupt your line of thoughts, from all of this that you are saying, it is seeming like you are not confident that the plans for this psychological evaluation in the first place is going to achieve much.
The thing is that if you want to achieve much, you have to do a lot of work behind the scene. And putting a lot of work behind the scene is not just a one-off, it's never an event, it's getting the right people. Like now, the whole world is shining their beam light on Nigeria, the end SARS, end police brutality, and SWAT and whatever, is for the police force. There's Association of Psychiatrists of Nigeria, there's National Association of Psychologists of Nigeria. Get this association on board, help them, get them to help you reform, do the reform, put those plans in place, ensure that there's continuity. It's very easy after some days, months after now, everybody forgets about this and then it will be business as usual. Let it not be business as usual. Let there be that total reform from scratch, sustainable. And of course, the officers are also, because the thing is because people are focusing on psychological evaluation. Has this man eating? Does this man live in a better place? Is his take home pay taking him home or her home? It's all about the total well-being. Psychological evaluation is one tip of the iceberg. It's everything about this person. They guard people that have billions that can take their children outside the country to school, and then this person cannot even afford 3 square meal for him or her child. So we need to put the right system in place. A total overhaul for us, even if we are going to be part of evaluating them, to put the right people in the right unit and do the right work, everything has to be reformed to have better standard of living, better salary remuneration. Because at the end of the day, if you evaluate them and they go back to a place where they don't want to be, a home where they don't want to stay, poor salary, it will still affect their psyche.
All right. Dr. Maimuna Kadiri, thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you too.